recommended budget level by the Department of Budget and Management for the Office of the Ombudsman for 2026 is 6,390,000,000, including automatic appropriations. This is in conformity with the pronouncement of the Constitution and its enabling law, RA 6770 on fiscal autonomy, that the appropriations of the Office of the Ombudsman may not be reduced below the amount appropriated from the previous years. It represents 0.0941% of the national expenditure program of 6.793 trillion. The details of the recommendation with comparative figures for 2025 current budget and 2026 DBM net are summarized below. So for personnel services, the recommendation of 3.511 billion 287 million is 355,341 over the 2025 current program, which is 11.26%. For maintenance and other operating expenses, the amount of 2.204 billion 639 million, for a difference of 136,849,000 is 6.62%. For capital outlay, 515,325 million, for an increase of 196,000 pesos is equivalent to 0.04% increase. So for retirement and life insurance premium, 159,158,000 for an increase of 25,869,000 is equivalent to 19.41% increase, for a total of 518,255,000 pesos or 8.83%. For comparative data for 2025 per program activity for gas, 4.368 billion 508 million, for a difference of 277,914,000 or 6.79% share. For support to operations, 112,817,000 pesos, for a difference of 47,367 or 72.37% share. For anti-corruption investigation program, 899,756,000 pesos, for a difference of 86,664 for 10.66% share. Anti-corruption enforcement program, 752,155,000 or 42,715,000 difference, for a percentage share of 6.02%. For Ombudsman Public Assistance Program, 151,969,000 pesos, for a difference of 60,838 million and 66.76% share. And lastly, for Corruption Prevention Program, 105,204,000 pesos, for a difference of 2,757,000 or a percentage share of 2.69%. With regard to the program expenditure classification, may I invite your attention on the screen. So, per expenditure program, the recommended 2026 budget for the OMB with comparative figures from 2024 actual is presented below. So for 2024, the actual obligations was recorded at 6,058,031,000 pesos. It comprised of regular agency budget of 5.6 billion, automatic appropriations of 5.1 million, and miscellaneous personal benefit funds of 95,517,000, and continuing appropriations of 353,256,000, and for Fund 170, 4,314,000. So the salient features of the DBM recommendations are summarized below. So it consists of the requirements for refilling up of positions in the amount of 1.5 billion, allocation for pension benefits in the amount of 96 million, provision for terminal leave benefit in the amount of 76.2 million, and for retirement gratuity benefits in the amount of 313.412 million. Provision for maintenance and other operating expenses amounting to 2,204,639,000 pesos, including provision for confidential expenses of 51,468 million. Provision in the amount of 45 million for the establishment of additional 3 Ombudsman Assistance Centers to enhance public access to its services. This will provide streamlined frontline service, including assisting walk-in clients with the filing of complaints, submission of SALN and networks, and processing of Ombudsman clearance. Allocation for agencies ICT in the total amount of 568,735,000 pesos. For MOE 225, 298 million, and CO 343, 437 million to support its IT systems and infrastructure modernization initiatives, such as continuing upgrade of its case management system and supply and asset management system, establishment of cybersecurity center and procurement of storage area network for digitized OMB records, among others. Allocation for other capital outlay requirements in the total amount of 171,888,000 pesos, broken down as follows. An amount of 36,130,000 pesos for the acquisition of 10 units of passenger vans for use of various OMB offices. An amount of 135,758,000 has been retained for the continued upgrade of depreciated office equipment, furniture, and fixtures. So, moving on po dun sa part 4, yung other relevant information to help the committee in the deliberations of the fiscal year 2026 proposed budget. So, requested additional funding, lump sum fund of 36,173,000 pesos for the creation of casual position or the implementation of digitization of prior year's records of the OMB to preserve essential documents from degradation and to allow easy access in the retrieval of records. This would also reduce the cost of physical storage of files and at the same time with enhanced data protection, security, and control. The breakdown of which is as follows. 61 positions with salary grade 3 requiring 18 million and 61 positions with salary grade 2 requiring 17 million for a total of 36,173,000 pesos. Number 2, so requested additional funding for lump sum fund of 160,163,000 pesos for the 6 additional Ombudsman Assistance Centers with the following details. So for PS, 21,777,000. For MOOE, the amount of 108,836,000. And for capital outlay, the amount of 30 million for a total of 160,163,000 pesos. Lump sum fund of 83,664,000 for the provision of rental for office spaces of OMB Luzon and OMB Mindanao. So, and Muleo pala. Sorry po. So, the total requested additional funding of 280 million pesos, if approved, will increase the OMB's budget for 2026 by 13.59% as compared to the current level of 5,872 million. So, requested special provisions for organizational structure, so notwithstanding any provision of law to the contrary and within the limits of appropriations in this act, the Ombudsman is hereby authorized to formulate and implement Office of the Ombudsman's organizational structure, fix and determine the salaries, allowances, and other benefits of personnel of the Office of the Ombudsman in accordance with the rates and levels authorized under RA number 6758 as amended and RA number 6686 as amended, and create new position, transfer an item, or make other adjustments in the personal services itemization whenever public interest so require. Implementation of the foregoing shall be subject to compliance with organization, staffing, and position classification and compensation standards of the DBM, scrap and build policy, and submission to DBM of a resolution stating the changes in the organization and staffing in accordance with the foregoing standards and policy for proper documentation. The officials and employees whose positions are affected by a reorganization shall be granted retirement benefits or separation pay in accordance with the existing laws, which shall be payable from any unexpended balance of or savings in the appropriations of the Office of the Ombudsman. Use of savings. So the Ombudsman is authorized to use savings from the appropriations of the Office of the Ombudsman to augment actual deficiencies in any item of its appropriations for the current year, which may include the following purposes: printing and or publications of decisions, resolutions, and training information materials, repair, maintenance, and improvement of central and regional offices, facilities, and equipment, purchase of equipment, books, journals, and periodicals, necessary expenses for the employment of temporary, contractual, and casual employees, and payment of extraordinary and miscellaneous expenses, representation and transportation allowances, and other authorized benefits of its officials and employees, subject to pertinent budgeting, accounting, and auditing rules and regulations. Use of income. The Office of the Ombudsman may use the income generated from fees collected by it, subject to the conditions under pertinent sections in the general provisions of this Act, and for purposes as may be specifically authorized therein or by applicable provision of law. Payment of retirement benefits and pension. The Ombudsman and her deputies, the Special Prosecutor, shall after 30 days following the date of retirement shall receive a monthly pension pursuant to the amounts appropriated for payment of pensions under Section 3 of RA 11059. Release of payment of retirement benefits and pension. Appropriations authorized for the payment of retirement benefits and pensions of the Office of the Ombudsman and his or her deputies, the Special Prosecutor, and all qualified officials and employees of the Office of the Ombudsman with salary grade 26 to 29 covered under Section 2 of RA number 11059, retirement law of the Office of the Ombudsman, shall be released directly to the Office of the Ombudsman, subject to the computation and conditions prescribed in applicable retirement laws, rules, and regulations. That's all po. Thank you po.
Thank you, Director Christopher Lim. Nasabi ko kanina, Ombudsman, that marami sa ginagawa ng DOJ, marami sa ginagawa ng ICI, because fact-finding sila, eventually babagsak rin sila sa Ombudsman. No? And alam mo naman kung anong sentiment ng taong bayan ngayon towards corruption, towards itong mga flood control. At ako nga, pag na-interview ako ngayon, wala nang good news eh. Hindi na ako tinatanong tungkol kung maganda yung ekonomiya, may investors papasok, lahat about corruption. So, yan ang general sentiment ng taong bayan. At gusto rin ng accountability. No? Dapat panagutin yung dapat managot. Bilang bagong ombudsman, ano ba yung mga plano natin to address itong mga flood control issues? Especially pag papasok na ito sa ombudsman, ano ba ang ating strategy para panugutin at ikulong yung dapat makulong ng mga tiwaling opisyal?
Mr. Chairman, ang opisina po ng ombudsman ngayon ay binabago po namin ang sistema sa paghawak ng kaso mula po sa filing, sa pagdala sa amin ng kaso hanggat ito'y mapunta namin, madala namin sa Sandigan Bayan o sa ITC. At binabago po namin yung mga deadlines at yung mga dapat po na panahon na magugugol sa bawat stage